Welcome back to my Let's Play of Amnesia, a Machine for Pigs.
It fell onto his hands and they eroded in front of me. To stumps. To stumps. Next time we will use an equal mix of infusion vitae and orgone disperser. No, just take him out. You could dump him in the river for all I care.
Inflamed it is, burning it does, bleeding from each hole fore and aft, leaking down my legs. Blood and excrement, my lungs are in my vomit. I pass clots of my organs now onto this filthy stone. Drink this, he says, and I did drink it. I did do that. Because of the changes, they ripple inner me. My teeth sneeze out and scatter like mice in the dark. I cannot find them all. I gathered what I can. I push them back into my grey gums with my fingers, but the nails are all weepy and falling out. Drink it, he says. It'll help the running of the fever, because not all of us can take the change. On the other table, a beast under the blanket. I never wanted to see under that, but he drank it too. He passed it under the blanket, and I heard it drink. Dear God Almighty, how can a man shit so much blood and still live? I have the compound. It hisses and steams in its container like some living thing, a witch's jelly to burn and corrode. The container is made from glass. A strange choice unless there is some particular reason why the metal that pervades everywhere else cannot be brought into contact with this so-called Compound X. I should investigate for further clues.
Down here, Daddy. Faster, faster.
Naturally, once bled, the products must be scalded, dehaired, and scraped, ready for gambling and evisceration. For this, we pass them through the steam reservoir, which is kept at a constant temperature by passing excess high-pressure venting from the engines, via boiler and a series of large copper pipes, into a stone chamber just below the workhouse. At the center of the machine there's a component that must be kept at a consistently low temperature, which controls operations of the processing of the product throughout the system. Alongside this, refrigeration is of the utmost importance in retaining product quality, and this also requires heat to be removed from certain areas of the machine. Two problems are therefore combined into a single solution: the removal of heat from some areas and the requirements for its increased heat in others. Conducting panels draw heat using the principles of convection regulated by the boiler and sending freezing air along one set of pipes in one direction and superheated vapors in another.
Isn't it dangerous allowing this filthy discharge to collect so close to the core?
We can use the flow to drive the turbines. There will always be a torrent of excreta flooding through these tunnels. We can use this to supplement the steam production and ensure constancy.
Dick, God, the stench! This fecal matter is the true product of the age.
Several of the older forms have breached the containment area and escaped into the sewers. They remind me of my limitations. This is no Kelm, and I'm no Eliahu. At least not yet. It is the heat generated from keeping the doorway between open that is to blame. We cannot simply pack them about with coolant as we do in the center, where the doorway is. The later versions are kept safe by the freezing temperatures of those towers. Up here, where the air is hot and fetid, they become overheated, and their duality tears them asunder, as the place flies from their cells, and the vitae splinters. They live sporadically, torn from one world to the other, and back again in violent, unpredictable bursts. For a few seconds they are creatures of this world, then they are torn away and cease to have physical form. This vicious ripping back and forth between worlds has driven them quite insane. I have ordered the affected areas sealed, and will not allow loyal workers to enter. These are damned places now, the abode of failed experiments, ghosts of fear and spite. That's done it. Now we can enter the strange decontamination chamber once again and move onwards. The waters are pushed back, making the way to the bilge clear, where I can divert the remainder of this filthy torrent back to the Thames where it belongs, and clear a path to the center of the machine.
That's it, Papa. You're so near now.
Dear God, a whole nest of those foul creatures. No mind, my instincts have drawn me thus far, and I am sure somewhere in this dank complex is a means of further descent. I will not see their faces as they go about doing their dark business, and yet, I watch them sleep and eat and play, and they are so very human, so very childlike. I will not think of what I have seen, of the chairs and the cages. I will not think of how such monsters may be sculpted.
You seem to have undergone quite a profound conversion in Mexico, Mr. Mandel.
You could not have seen it yourself and not, Professor. As we disembarked, even through my fever, I saw the detritus of this so-called progress. I saw starvation and disease, rot and destruction polluting the waters of the Empire. We are ruiners, you and I, and all of us, and we make the world unclean.
And you took it upon yourself to act as Redeemer.
Professor, I would not be so presumptuous. I am merely a conduit. I am constructing an architecture to wrestle our damnation to the ground and smother it with steam.
He's here! He's here! said you'd come.
Ahead, the trickle to still waters. I dragged myself deeper into the temple, downward ever, towards a wind that felt the voices of my children, beckoning me to set them free.
And when they first said, "Daddy," my heart was molten, as if frozen blood upon the ground were held to the sun to thaw and slop. And they were inseparable, always together, one soul in two bodies, and my love was all-consuming. "I would die for you," I whispered to their sleeping faces. "I would kill. I would set this world to ruin to protect you. I have fought through the dark tunnels, great engines, the foulest of beasts. I have set my covenant and drained this flood. I am come for you now, my darling boys."
And we came then to London, and you set me upon a mantelpiece, and then you went into the house and gathered the servants, and we set, you and I, on recrafting them, and then you went into the garden and buried those tiny shattered skulls, alone. For your children and us, to spare them the world you have created for us all.
is this place?
I tried so hard. I will uphold my promise. I will always protect them for you. My eyes are your eyes. My heart is your heart. I will rip them loose from this rotten world and set them to burn, all to save them.
And they feel no pain. The process is completely humane. Humane, Professor? That we judge the acceptable level of suffering by the human condition? Ask the beggar, Professor. Ask the orphan. Ask the whore. Ask the starving, Professor. The weak, the sick, the filthy. Ask them to define your humane.
still. No, Magnus. They suffocate. They suffocate.
Daddy, Daddy!
Now, Magnus, set them free. Set them all free. I live. I breathe again. I rise. I will rise to bleach the sky and still the water. I will spin the world wheel and set the future upon the path to redemption.
Where are my children? You promised me my children!
My time is come. More pig. More pig.
Boys, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
And, emerging, I raised my head to an uncaring sun, and I cursed this world of pain and despair. This civilization built on the ricketed bones of the unfortunate, on the greed and swell of mammon and empire. Cradling a stone egg in my jacket, I kissed my children farewell, and I crawled my way home.
Can a man construct himself anew? Can a man, on realizing who he is, on what he has become, tear himself apart down to the bricks and begin again? Are our souls just tiny cogwheels in clockwork, and intricate machines to function that, upon reflection, we might set to a new task? Can a man, defined by his actions, defined by that which he now finds aberrant, set to sabotaging this body, his machine, until those children of his soul turn in new motion, and he may awake to a new sun, a new year, a new century, with hope in his heart? As I reach my hands to expose the wires, I ask myself this: is redemption possible for such a creature as I? And if not, then surely better to die amongst my creations than to continue to live as a monster.
Where are they? Where are my children?
Why do you ask, Magnus? You know the answer well enough.
Children really are the most wonderful, useful creatures. The unfortunates from the orphanage have proved indispensable in cleaning the larger steam pipes. It appears that matter from the slaughtering process may indeed vaporize at the source, but it drifts like dust through the air and lodges in the pipes, causing them to foul. Periodically, we shut down the pressure and send one of our pixies into the pipes to scrub the reconstituted fat away. Armed with just a shortened broom, our little explorers venture into the dark. Of course, we cannot keep our pressure down for a very long period, so they must be fast, or they risk being trapped and boiled by the superheated vapors when they rush back into the system. Then, we will send some of their comrades in afterwards to scrape the free and cooling mess. The survivors tell me you can reach all manner of places within the complex through the pipes. I smile. tell them I am so proud, and then I feed them to the pigs.
What are you doing, little piggy? Do you think I will allow you to sabotage me again?
I want my children, you unholy bastard! Will it hurt them?
A cleansing fire always burns, little Mandus, but it purifies and it makes anew. Did it hurt to carve out the fevered flesh? Did it hurt to cut free the gangrenous foot? Ask instead this: can we save them?
When did I say that? That is not me. That is not me!
There's a spoon of medicine, I says, and it's a silver spoon, what you did get, born holding. Ever so painful for my dear, but grasped so hard, it was in a little screaming red fist. You later used your spoon to dig a hole in the garden to get all the way to Mexico, and you did eat worms with your spoon on the way to staying fat. This spoon was the same you gave your twins. Then you used it to dig a hole to their clockwork souls, and you ate their hearts, like soup, on the way to keep you fat. Fat little mole, where will you dig next, I ask? You and your silver spoon made from the silver spine of your children, and wrapped in the hair of your dearly departed. Dear sweet Jesus, my darling Lilibeth, what have I become?
save them.
You are too late. It begins. My work has begun. Kill them, my piggies. Kill them all.
God, no, what have I done?
I know you are out here. I own this city. I am this city.
No! This is not what I meant! This is not what I meant at all!
No one misses the poor. Round up some orphans and the world will thank you for it. Disappear a whore, and a gentleman applauds you. Call a beggar, and a lady walks safely again. I hate them. I hate them more than any of the others. This privilege, this pretension. These so-called leaders, these pillars of society, these rich and fanciful. They wear their filth on the inside, but they are no less dirty. I have plans for them all. We will feed them, and then we will feed from them.
Redeem yourselves. Redemption is at hand. Enter the cleansing and set your souls free. For you are born into filth and will die as pigs. Only through my redemption can you ascend to the skies and claim the heavens as your kingdom. Fall on your knees. Ashes, ashes, bones and ashes. For the pile will reach critical, and we can have such a burning that this city will shine as a beacon of redemption for the world.
God forgive me, what have I unleashed? I stand and smell the burning city. I see ash upon the wind. I hear the roars of the sickening beasts, and the screams as they fall upon the city and drag its people below for the slaughter. Now I begin to understand what the other composite ingredient of Compound X must be. And I also understand this. It is my responsibility now. I must find a way back to the heart of the machine and complete what I started.
creature! Where are my children? Where are my children?
I have returned, an angel of vengeance, a saboteur once more. I will find a way to stop this vast enterprise of slaughter. Enough destruction. Open the heart before, confuse the machine enough to spring its locks and secret doorways. I must cause it great shock, stab its eyes, poke hot wires into its ears, hammer to its teeth, and push glass in every orifice. Then it will gasp, and in that gasp, I will scuttle into this throat and stab its heart from the inside. Machine blades for Fatty Bishop and Gluttony Harris. Fun cuts for all the sorting bins. And the very best, as always, back in the dumbwaiter to the kitchens above, to be stewed and plumbed, and gravied in breadcrumb, and returned to the table for the next night's feast. Not every night, you see, although we have begun to increase the frequency of the final act. Unlike the poor, the rich will be missed, given time. But we will continue to spoil and ready them, and our fine foods are now exported to mansions and lodges across London, and it has been noted that the Times of late how rather overweight the great and good are becoming, with their diets of fine wine and rich meat. Indeed, the paunch, just last week, a cartoon showed Viscount Selwyn as a stuffed pig laid upon a platter for his peers to dine upon. Vicious and cowardly slander, no doubt. But he tasted delicious.
Will they be free?
Yes, my friend. Drained and bled and freed from the prison of the flesh. Free to ascend as smoke to the stars.
And the good? The worthy? How will we save them?
Show me these worthy, Mandus. Show me these good. I do not see them.
Then upstairs, to bed, to toss and turn on bloated stomachs, to copulate and puke upon chaise lawn, four-poster, or dressing table, collapse at last into the engulfing mattress, drunk and drugged and fat and stupid and senseless, and spring the trap, man-piggies, spring the trap. At a pull of the lever, a set of hydraulic pistons and gears are fired, resulting in 3 walls of steel bars dropping from the ceiling via canopy to the cage, the product into the bed, preventing escape. The entire bed is then tilted backwards into the wall by a powerful spring mechanism, also fed by the hydraulics. The pressure for this system is created as a byproduct of the vacuum evisceration system employed for mass production elsewhere on the pig line. In this way, we have created our very own bottle revolution. For the moment of the masses is a casual factor in the extermination of the rich. Alright folks, I think that's enough for one episode. I'll see you guys next time.